Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo.
Hey, Sean. Good to see you. God, how long has it been? We were just kids, weren't we? Good to see you, man. Hey, Sean, tell that joke that you told me earlier. Well, it's not so much a joke as it is just an observation. I was just telling Jimmy I don't really care much for stairs. Stairs? Why? Well, they're always up to something then, aren't they? Oh, jeez. So, Jack, what's this I hear about you teaching Jimmy about Buddhism? It's kind of weird, so it is. I guess it kind of depends on your perspective. The only Buddhists I ever seen were those guys wearing the orange robes, shaved heads. But that's not you here, are you? Wearing your nice suits, and Jimmy over here with his pork pie hat and his high-top tennis shoes. Looking like some sort of old hipster, so he does. Well, we belong to a lay Buddhist organization, so there's no clergy or priests. Oh, yeah? Yeah, we're just, people from all different walks of life that, we practice Buddhism, we study the teachings, and we're working towards world peace. Well, that sounds pretty good. Jimmy was saying that you do some sort of chant? Yep. The chant is Myoho Renge Kyo. See? Weird. Well, it's definitely different, especially, from people from Western cultures like us. What's that translate to? It's devotion to the mystic law of cause and effect through sound or vibration. Why would you chant something like that? You better take that one, Jack. Well, I'll try. Let me ask you, Sean, would you agree that we live in a vibrational world? What do you mean? Don't you remember when we were in school, they taught us that even like solid objects that, they appear solid, but if you look at them on a subatomic level, they're actually vibrating. And they're just vibrating at a different speed than like air, which we can just walk right through. Oh yeah, like if you're looking at atoms, molecules like that? Right, and would you agree that different vibrations affect you differently? Oh, you should have been an attorney, Jack. Well, yeah, I get it. Like if you're listening to some music's gonna get you going, and other music might make you a bit sad, eh? I remember a few years back, somebody was actually able to photograph water molecules, and they were affected by the way they were spoken to. Right, I've seen that. Like when you say words like thank you, the molecules will turn into like these beautiful crystals. And if you say things, negative things, they sort of morph into these really ugly shapes. Well, lads, that's all very interesting, but where are you going with this? So you mentioned music. So just think of everything in our world as like a song, and you want to sing in harmony with that song. Oh, that's great. I love to sing, so I do. Good. But even non-singers can sing this song. So all you have to do is chant Myoho Renge Kyo and pray about things that you feel passionately about. And then you will harmonize your life with the life of the universe. And then once you get into harmony, good things start to happen. So what you're saying is that if I chant this phrase, Myoho Renge Kyo, and I chant for things that I really want, you're saying that that's going to put my life in some sort of rhythm with the universe? Don't know if I could go along with that, Jack. It is kind of weird, isn't it? I thought the same thing, but a lot of really good things did happen. Example? Well, like I got into this thing at work with this guy, and we almost got into a fist fight. Oh, Jimmy, didn't know you were such a hard man. I'm not. It just kind of came out of nowhere. but it got broken up pretty fast. And what I did is I went back to my office and I actually started chanting for this guy's happiness. And then you won't believe it, but like maybe a half an hour later, I go out to the showroom, and this guy calls me outside, and he actually apologizes for disrespecting me, and we shake hands, and the whole thing was over and done. And that was that. And that was that. Actually, it was really weird because like during that first month when I was practicing, I started getting in arguments with a lot of my coworkers, which was kind of strange because that had never happened before. Really? Yeah, but every time it happened, I would chant for the happiness, the absolute happiness of the people that were involved, or the person that was involved. And whatever was going on just seemed to clear up, and then the relationship actually seemed to improve after that. Tell them what happened then, Jimmy. So after about a month or so of chanting and going through these different experiences, whatnot, my boss calls me into his office, and I get transferred to a different department, start making better money, better hours, and they even let me bring my guitar to work because I had my own office and I wouldn't disturb anybody, so it was a really good situation. Hipster. No, man, that's really great. Hey, what about you, Jack? What happened when you first started? Well, when I first started, I used to have these bouts of depression that would really lay me low for like weeks at a time. And I discovered, though, that I could chant for like 2 or 3 hours and the depression would just lift. And being in sales, it made a huge difference to my income. Fair play to you, Jack. And you really believe that it was because you were chanting this phrase, Myoho Renge Kyo. Once you experience it, you don't just believe it, you know it. And by the way, when I first started practicing, I started getting into a lot of arguments with my wife, just like Jimmy and his coworkers. But we just had a lot of things like that were simmering under the surface, and once I started my practice, they all just kind of bubbled up to the surface. I think the practice acts as a catalyst for change. That's interesting. Now, the other important part of the practice is to study the teachings. I'm not really much of a reader. You don't have to be it. Just a little bit on a regular basis. It helps you build a foundation for your practice. Well, we have these magazines and newspapers that come out every month, and they're real interesting. They have a lot of experiences of people that have started practicing and the benefits that they're getting, and it's pretty easy reading, pretty good stuff. You know what, lads? It all seems really weird, but I want to try it. Really? Yeah, why not? It all seems really strange, but I trust you guys, and I have some things in my life I'd really like to change. You won't regret it, Sean, I'm telling you. Thanks, Jimmy. Cheers, mates. Cheers. Cheers.
Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo, Myoho Renge Kyo.